Today, I will be talking about your guys' hot takes. Hot takes are when you have an opinion which is not the norm, and many people might not agree with you, and I know you guys have a lot of those. I will be sorting through some of your guys' hot takes and seeing if it's a good take or a bad take. But let's start. First hot take is one that I definitely don't agree with. Rougarou is definitely not a top floorless. I've only been on two, being Rougarou and Kraken, but I much more prefer Kraken over Rougarou. Also, I really don't think that Rougarou has many good qualities about it. The first drop is good since it's straight, but it has a trim halfway down, which is kind of weird and slows the speed down. All the inversions just don't have a lot of force to them. Also, what's the point of the incline loop? You already have a normal vertical loop, so why do you have the exact same element right before it when it's not even as good as a normal loop? All that and the fact that it has no 0G roll definitely cements it as a bottom tier floorless. This is one that I definitely agree with. People love to say that this is an amazing ride and top 5 or even top 2 at Cedar Point. I'm looking at you, Airtime Thrills. But the first drop is okay, not a lot of airtime and not too bumpy, so overall, it's okay. The next hill has no airtime, and the curve down is kind of painful and very awkward and weird. And the turnaround is one of the worst that I've been on, and the banking is weird and it's very bumpy. The only redeeming quality about the ride is these final airtime hills. Sometimes the hills are too powerful, while sometimes it's just the right amount. As of the last time that I've actually been, the hills were pretty good and overall really fun, but it still makes this ride a middle of the pack at Cedar Point. Another take that I completely agree with, Mystic is way overrated. Don't get me wrong, this is a great ride and the third best ride in the park for me, but the glaze for this ride is wild. This ride is great with twisting hills that go out and back and give amazing airtime and a ton of laterals. But people are talking about this ride like it's the best ride in the park and have it in their top 25 overall, which is way too high. This ride doesn't even have an elite first drop, which is something that I prefer in a coaster. And another personal thing, I'm not a huge fan of laterals, so that's a reason why I think it's really overrated. But I think there's really no debate that this ride is super overrated. This is a take that I really don't think I should be talking about since I haven't been on Fury 325, but I believe in no way is Orion better than Fury. The first drops are very similar, but after that, they aren't very similar at all. Fury has low to the ground whips and turns and airtime hills at the end, while Orion has high in the sky elements. First, I wish Orion could incorporate more of its speed into its elements, and Fury does that perfectly. The treble clef looks to be so much better than Orion's turnaround, being that Orion's doesn't have any airtime and Fury's does. And the airtime hills at the end look to be a similar amount of airtime as Orion has over the entire duration of its ride. And the cherry on top is that the one complaint that Orion has, being that it's too short, is resolved with Fury being about 1,000 feet longer than Orion. Overall, there is no way that Orion could be on the same level or even better than Fury 325. Top Thrill 2 is last seen more than 3 years, and I don't even know if it's a question. It's very uncommon in the modern day that rides like these last little time, even if there is a lot of maintenance problems. Look at Lightning Rod and Top Thrill Dragster before it. These are rides that had a lot of problems, but the parks decided to never throw in the towel and put in the work to fix the ride. Now, maybe Top Thrill 2 won't be as good as before, but it definitely will reopen. I think that Top Thrill 2 will close for the year, and Cedar Point and Zamperla will make the modifications that are necessary. Also, if Cedar Point put up with Top Thrill Dragster for 20 years, I think that they can put up with Top Thrill 2 for at least 3, especially since they poured in all the money already that they have to at least try to fix it. This is my own hot take, and if anyone disagrees, I don't really care. This ride is the most diverse ride in the world, and I don't know if it's really close. This ride has everything, and I'm not exaggerating. This ride has a world record 7 launches, making sure that you are the exact same speed the entire time and you don't slow down at all. You have a surprise near vertical spike in a backward section that only a handful of rides offer. And after that, you have an amazing theme building with a 10-foot drop track. Also, the experience is enhanced so much by the ride vehicles, since taking this magical ride on the motorbike is so fun. And no, Universal isn't paying me to say this, it's just that good. And to tie it all together, it's the most detailed and themed roller coaster in the world. So to anyone that thinks it's not the most diverse ride in the world, you're wrong. You're just simply wrong. The last hot take on the list, and one that I 100% agree with. Especially after the Racer's retrack, I think that the Racer is slightly better. Racer, no matter what side, is smooth and filled with airtime. All the hills are so smooth that it's crazy, arguably one of the smoothest wooden coasters that I've been on. And the airtime is surprisingly good for a 50-year-old coaster. And the last time I rode the Beast, it was pretty bumpy and the ride didn't do a lot for me. And so many people like to say, oh, it's the experience in the woods and the length that makes it so good. And yeah, the length is unbeatable. But the track just doesn't really do anything. Now, the Beast is still a classic and they should keep it around, but if I had to choose between Racer and Beast, I would rather be on the Racer. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys don't flame me too hard for these takes, but I'ma stand on them. Other than that, subscribe, vote on my community tab, and have a good day.